Hello, today is September 9th, 2015, and again, for the third week in a row, we are outside the Sault Ste. Marie Courthouse, and I am sitting here with Rosemary, a fellow advocate of ours who's been protesting all day, and she would like to talk. Let's have a chat, Rosemary.
I just really would like to let everybody know that we really appreciate the support that we've gotten. Day one, there was 3 people out. Day 2, there was maybe 10 to 15 people. Today, we've come and go. We've probably had between 20 and 25 people right now. It's very early in the day still. Since our protest last week, we have, on our personal Facebooks, people are starting to come and they're starting to talk to us. Myself, I've heard a story of a lady, her granddaughter passed away in CAS care, and they were not even compassionate enough to allow her to bury her granddaughter in their family plot with their own religious beliefs. Her grandson's still many years, and he's still in foster care. There's no reason for it. He's being abused. We have had other people stop by and tell stories of their life. We just had a grandmother, 35 years. She's been involved with CAS. 35 years, that's a lot of money that they've gotten out of that family.
That's her whole life.
Her whole life. It's devastating. Another mom, just like our mom, Nicole, she went to them for help because her child was being abused. She's now in the court system. She's now the one having to go for the meetings, not the abuser. The abuser is still being allowed to exercise his rights. My own personal, we have gotten a letter, from our lawyer. It's going back to court again. The family that had taken my stepson when he was very small, family members, they abandoned him. CAS refuses to pursue the fact that they abandoned him. And, so there's a lot going on there. We have had people stop by that are advocates for other support groups, and they're really interested in helping. We have a lot of people from the Native Aboriginal community. We need yous out here. This is for yous as well as ourselves. This is for all the children. This is not just this. Children's Aid is not prejudiced. They take everybody's kids. If you have the money to fight, chances are good you'll be able to keep your child. If you don't have the money to fight, you're not going to get your child back. They are a commodity. They're a very hot commodity to this society. We have not had anybody from the society come out and talk to us and try and reason with us. They peek through the windows of their building, which is right across the street. They are, instead of coming out the front door of the courthouse or the front door of the CAS building, the society's secret cave, they are actually walking around out back doors, down city blocks to keep away from us, and we're being very peaceful. We're just stating what we believe, Obviously, those are tactics of guilty people that should be held accountable. I've been telling everybody all day, we're here in Sault Ste. Marie. Sault Ste. Marie is a very small community. Anywhere you go in Canada, if you meet somebody from Sault Ste. Marie, you're instantly, there's a bond there. Sault Ste. Marie can change its child protection system. We do not need a private society of citizens telling us how to be parents. We need to be able to go to our doctors, our counselors. We need to be able to talk to our police officers. They are to protect and serve. So if I see one on the street, I should be able to approach them and tell them that I have a problem. Right now, because of the society, nobody is willing. There is so much corruption in our legal system that there's nowhere to turn. You don't have anybody. You can't talk to your next door neighbor because you don't know if they're a a CAS worker, you really have nowhere to turn. It's very sad in a community as small as Sault Ste. Marie that we have nowhere to turn. Ontario is a beautiful place. Let's bring back the peacefulness of children growing up as children. Children are not sex slaves. Children are not test animals for pharmaceutical companies. Children are children. Children need to be able to play out in their front yard with their friends and not worry about a CAS worker pulling up out front, putting them in the car, and driving away with them. CAS doesn't like free-range parenting. And what that means is your children are not allowed to go outside and play. But the reason that they're not allowed to go outside and play without you supervising is not due to kidnappers, child molesters, and such. It's due to CAS. If they drive by and they see your child playing outside, they are going to apprehend them, kidnap them. Apprehension is their word, but look it up. It's kidnapping. When you take a child without anybody's knowledge and you put them in a vehicle and you drive away, and then you call up the parents after and say, if you have this much money to fight, then you can have your child back. That's ransom. They are kidnapping our children. They are charging ransom to get them back. Only the rich can afford the ransom. The courts are plugged up with Children's Aid Society matters far beyond your child's 18th birthday. The courts are not withholding the law. They are not holding Children's Aid accountable. Where are these dead children? Children are dying all the time. Children are being kidnapped. Why are these workers not being held accountable? Again, I'm going to say to you, if you do something because somebody else tells you to, you're still accountable. They have no integrity. Integrity is who you are when no one else is looking. And when no one else is looking, these CAS workers, they're stealing children. They're giving them to pedophiles. They're allowing them to become sex slaves. They are breaking up families. Let's stand together as a community within our neighborhood, a community within our city, and a community within our province and country. We are one earth, and we are all capable of abolishing this terrible society of child abusers. They get more money in 1 month per child than most families would spend on a child in a year. And they are not for profit. Where is all this money going? Because it's not being spent on the children. Stand together with your neighbor. Go on Canada Court Watch. Go on social media. Share. We will be here every Wednesday from 10:30 until 6. We have extra signs. We all bring extra water in case somebody needs water. You have support. There's people out here for you to talk to. You can tell your story if you wish to. If you are not ready to, there's still people to talk to. We've all been through what you are. When you see us, please honk your horn, make some noise, let them know that as a community, we are going to stand together and abolish these criminals.
Exactly. We are here to help you. We are here to do whatever we can to be supportive as a community that wants to be better.
That's right. We are a good community. Now let's stand together and let's get rid of all these criminals that are committing crimes against everybody's family. Turn your shoulder to the person standing next to you. Everybody has a CAS story. That is a very, very sad situation.
Exactly, or a family law divorce custody case.
Yes, family law, divorce, parental alienation. You're abusing your child. If you loved somebody long enough to get into a situation to make a child, even if it was for one moment, love that child enough to share, to teach them, let them grow on their own. If it is an abuse situation that you know it's an abuse situation, there is still ways to allow your child to not be harmed. Supervised visits with a grandparent present, an aunt, an uncle. Everybody has a friend. You know, your child has rights. Allow your children, exercise your children's rights so that the next generation isn't going through what this generation is. Make them, teach your children to say no. And this is a real problem, is we're having to keep our children in the house and coddle them and do everything and keep them so close because we're so afraid. We should not be afraid to let our children run and play in the grass and get dirty and have a bump or a bruise. You know, just let's go back to plain old-fashioned living. This society is not a legal society. They break the law more than on a daily basis. Our family law system is failing us terribly.
Exactly.
It's family law, not CAS law. Our judges need to point the finger where the law is being broken. That's how they got to where they are, is being law-abiding citizens. Now, they are the top of law enforcement and they are not enforcing the law. They need to stop taking their gown and putting it over their head so they don't have to see what's going on. They need to start making them accountable. Judges, we have faith in you. You are the head of our legal system. We are supposed to have faith in our legal system in Canada as free citizens. Please, 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 to any of you judges and lawyers out there, do your job. Do what you gave an oath to do.
Exactly. And
Hold the criminals accountable.
hold the liars accountable. Stop the long litigation. More mediation, more parental time, and equal time to both parents. If parents are fighting and one parent is saying that the other is horrible and doesn't want that child to spend time, that is a red flag.
That's right. And you know what? There's many of us out there that have been divorced. I don't particularly want to have to spend a whole large amount of time in a room with my ex-husband, but my children had the right to both parents.
Exactly.
And as adult people, we sat down, we made ground rules for both of us, we made ground rules for the children. We were each welcome at the other parent's home with regards to the children, because the day that we sat on a bed and held a baby together, we made an obligation to that child to have both parents present. And if more people could just swallow their pride, let their personal anger go, and just love your children. Let them love their parents. Let them have two parents. We wouldn't have as much depression and mental illness of children
in teens that we have now.
And yes, you know, there's just so many things. But come on, judges, do your job. Point the finger at the right people. Get the children back in their own home. Their education is being interrupted. And then when they're 15 to 20 years old and getting in trouble, everybody's wondering why. Because they don't really have a family structure. They're being bounced around. They're not being taught morals. They're not being taught manners. You know, by their own family. It's very important for yourself to be taught by your own family. And you know what? As an adult, if you choose to turn your back on a father or a mother or whichever, then that is your right to do so also. But don't take that right away from a child. You're supposed to be the voice of that child.
Exactly. And stop implementing court orders and make parenting plans where the child has a plan and a shared life with both parents.
And the problem with the court orders is the judges are not really doing their jobs, and our police department is not doing its job, because you can have a court order saying that Dad gets to pick Jonathan up at 5 o'clock on Friday, and Mom decides, you know, I don't like Dad and I'm not going to follow the court order. Why is Mom not charged? Why is she? Because then she's not following the court order. If there is no reason for her to not follow the court order. Visitation should be 50-50. You shouldn't need a court order in a family. That's just ridiculousness, really. Let's be adults. Let's sit at a table. Let's talk about what's best for our children. But all of these parents that break court orders, and you call you call the police or whichever, your lawyer, and they say, well, take them back to court. It's such a waste of time because nobody is
enforcing and listening and thinking about what's in that child's heart.
That's right.
Because they don't see the face of the child.
That's right.
They see the two parents in front.
That's right. So if we can all just work together and get together as a community in every city, in every town, anywhere that, the society exists, let's get together and let them know that they're not welcome here. Let's get together and, protect our children ourselves and point the finger at the real criminals. Because the real criminals are not always the parents. The real criminals are always CAS workers. The real criminals are family law, that is judges turning their head because it's kind of too much of a bother. Mm-hmm. That's not why you're sitting on that bench.
The file is too long.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's why you're there. That's why you took the oath to be where you are. Mm-hmm. And you need to go back to law enforcement, not CAS law enforcement. They have no right.
And alienating parents who withhold time, parents who do not promote the other parent, parents who restrict time, they should be seen as the abuser. They should be punished.
That's right.
They are committing emotional abuse to the child.
That's right. And just remember, when you're talking down about your ex, you're talking down about your child at the same time. So as they're getting older and they do suffer depression and self-esteem issues, it came right from your mouth. So remember that. That's where it came from. It is right from you. You did that to your own child.
When you called your child's daddy stupid, or you said what an idiot your child's daddy was?
That's right. Because in the next breath, you're probably telling your child you're just like your dad. And so they must be an idiot. And, I think that it needs to stop. Come out every Wednesday, 10:30 until 6. We're going to be here. Mm-hmm. We have whistles going. We have spare signs. We will help you as much as humanly possible.
We want to give you a voice.
Everybody has a voice, and if for whatever reasons you can't use your own, come talk to me because I will help you. There's many people down here that will be a voice for you. Just come out and support us. Get on social media and use it for what it was meant for. Nobody cares what you ate for breakfast, but we certainly care about your children. So get out there and get something done. You'll feel better tomorrow morning.
Exactly. Thank you, Rosemary. We'll go back and I'm going to do a pan shot here.
Okay.
Let's take a look at the protesters.
And we got a few more.
We got a few more coming. Some left for lunch, but we're not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere. We're here.
Thank you.